Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to the Driving Home Reviews podcast. This is a podcast that features mine and my girlfriend Hannah's unfiltered, spoiler-filled thoughts about films we've just seen on the drive home. Just a heads up, there's a lot of strong language, full spoilers, obviously, and a lot of comments about what we see on the road, so we hope you enjoy. So for this episode, actually it's a bit of an old episode because this episode is we went and saw Reminiscence, which has got like Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson in it. And we recorded quite a while ago, and then I forgot because we went and saw quite a few other things. But we haven't been to the cinema a lot recently because there's not really a lot out before James Bond. So I was like, oh yeah, actually, we've got that one that we can do. Reminiscence is basically Hugh Jackman does Inception, but instead of dreams, it's memories. You'll hear what we think anyway. So did we think it was any good? Let's find out. That?
I don't know.
Bit of an odd ball, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a bit, what's that thing? Leonardo DiCaprio, wasn't it?
You mean Hugh Jackman does Inception?
Yeah. It was a bit Inception, wasn't it, really?
It was Inception.
But not quite as convoluted.
No.
It tried to be, but then it was like when you realise that, the first time he was looking back at his memories, you're like, oh, okay, he's looking back and this isn't happening in like real time.
Yeah, it won't.
But then once you woke
him up and he was, it's been 5 months,
yeah.
And he was like,
once he'd done it one time, it was like
there's going to be a fair bit of this, isn't there?
Yeah. But I think based on the fact that it was like Inception, I enjoyed it.
I think I did quite like it. It kind of. It's gonna sound really harsh, but in kind of like a shitty film kind of way.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. Shitty's a really bad term. Well, it's not shit. It's not a bad term.
It's shit.
But do you know what I mean? It was weird. It was like a weird sort of B movie from the 50s about a detective.
Yeah.
Because I just found every time he did a voiceover, he was like, I hate this city. This city is fucking...
Right?
The water's flooding. The tide of change is coming. But I hate it. And that girl, she just disappeared. She came in one day, tore things up, then she disappeared again.
Yeah.
And it was just so it just felt like something from the 50s.
Yeah,
and the whole plot of where it was she came in and then I couldn't find her again. And then it led to something way more complicated and bigger than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you swap him for being a memory man, for being a private detective, slap a black and white filter on it, take away all the water, and you've got any detective-y film from the 50s, 60s.
100%.
Which I think that's what I was like, it's a bit crap, but it's also quite fun.
But
I think because it didn't because it leaned into, I don't know if it's me just sort of reading into it too much. Not necessarily reading into it too much, but it just felt like it knew that that's exactly what it was, and it didn't apologise for it, and it just sort of played it out completely.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the bits were dead obvious, but then some bits weren't. But then I thought it was quite sweet as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just
boiled down as a cute love story.
Yeah.
And it was
I think that's, it was quite sincere. I've said it quite a lot, don't I? Where you can tell a film's written by someone who cares about it.
Yeah.
And so someone gives a shit about the film that they're making.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like it was a bit like this.
9 times out of 10, I'm sure the person does give a shit about the film they're making.
Yeah, I think it's because the most recent example I think is Snake Eyes, and it just felt like Snake Eyes was just a by the numbers sort of just action.
Yeah.
Fuck, we need to reinvigorate. How do we do that?
Yeah. They didn't care.
No. But
well, she must have cared about it because she bloody
she wrote it, produced it, directed it,
and directed it.
wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune. It was interesting. One thing I wanted to, because I remember seeing on the trailers for it where it was like from the creator of like Westworld, like the TV show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll give you 2 guesses as to who that was. Who created Westworld? She was in. She wrote the theme. She wrote the theme tune. Sang the theme tune.
What, the film we just seen?
Yeah.
What, Lisa Joy?
Lisa Joy. Yeah. And I think that sort of stuck with me because I was like, if this is written by the person who did Westworld, it feels like this could have been a TV show.
It could have been, but I think it worked as a film.
Yeah. Like, it just felt, because there was some shit in that film that they just sort of hand-waved away. And I feel like that's why I was a bit like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe she had the idea as a TV show and she went to Warner Brothers and was like, look,
It's my idea.
Yeah. You know, give some fucking shitload of cash and I'll make that money again, that sweet, sweet money. And they were like, yeah, we'll give you a 2-hour film. And she was like, alright, fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because it felt like there were some ideas in there that I feel like could have been fleshed out more in a TV show. I guess that's the point of any film, you know. But I just felt like some of the concepts in that were just like really like could have been fleshed out a hell of a lot more. Like, you know, that whole, you know, with the woman who'd just gone insane.
Oh yeah, the Baroness.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And just like establishing what had happened prior to everything in the film. Like, why was there so much water? Like, what was this war about? You know?
I imagine.
Obviously, global warming,
because obviously they said about how they go to bed in the daytime because it's too hot.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's just it's just in the future global warming issue. The sea levels are risen.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Just like, but like other little bits of that, like in the world.
Yeah, I guess they could have had different episodes on like the different.
And especially because all they kept talking about was this fucking war.
Yeah.
That apparently was a really big fucking deal. Because that's the only reason Hugh Jackman did anything.
Yeah,
because he was a fucking policeman.
Yeah, he knew how to handle a gun.
Yeah. But then also didn't use it once. And then he got taken off him pretty easily when he had.
Yeah, he was better with the
syringe.
Yeah, he was better with the syringe and better with the like actual like fist fighting rather than shooting.
But yeah, there was just something in there that I was like, I could see this as a TV show. And I think that was because I was like, I swear this said it was by the creator of Thingy, and I was like, just some of the ideas that were quite like high concept, like, you know, surrounding this whole like memory rejigging thingamabob.
Yeah.
Like just some of the side effects and stuff that came along with it as well, and like, you know, some of the characters and their backstories. It was like, feels like some of these were written like you've really fleshed these like
you have a whole story here, but you're just not showing it in this film.
Yeah, it was like there's a lot more to this.
Yeah, you have a whole character backstory,
which I think is kind of why I quite liked it, because it felt like she knew like when it was written, it felt like they knew the characters.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it paid off quite well.
Yeah, and they weren't just like half-assed.
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman went for it, didn't he?
Second thought characters, like
I thought he put in a good shift in this. Because I feel like this could quite easily have been a film where he just thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just. I thought, fucking hell, mate, I might as well just do some fucking dingo dollars and go to the fucking do Inception, but fucking dodgy Inception, mate. We're not gonna be on those fucking Marvel dollars, so.
But yeah.
So fuck it, might as well.
Just to rake in the money with his good pal.
Fucking hell, what's all the fucking bumps in this road? And my tyres.
Literally, you know, when he first looked at the memory of her singing, and I was like, sorry, are we watching The Greatest Showman right now?
Yeah, you could literally have finished watching Greatest Showman and then watch this and been like...
The way he was looking at her, I was like...
do you think...
exactly the same.
Do you think Hugh Jackman just actually really likes kissing Rebecca Ferguson?
I think he might do, you know.
And he just wants to keep having an affair with her.
Yeah.
And just is like, look, you can have me in this bloody film.
He wanted
not a problem.
have a, you know...
Could you get Rebecca Ferguson? Because, cool, look at her, mate.
Yeah, because I just got teased with her in The Greatest Showman because I was actually married, you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't get with her. So.
He was like, I had one pissy little kiss with her in that. I want a full-on, slightly saucy sex scene for... That was... It felt like this film was, like, really targeted towards, like, adults.
Yeah.
Because it had, like, you know, sexy Hugh Jackman for the mums, sexy Rebecca Ferguson for the dads, and just, yeah, it just felt like like we said, a discount Inception.
Yeah.
Like something where it's not too complicated.
No.
For anyone to follow.
But enough twists and turns that kept you interested.
Yeah.
Without being too confusing.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when it was like, oh, she's a bad guy, but then it was like, oh no, when he was looking at the, whatever his name, Thingy Booth, looking at his memories and like revealing her whole story, and it was like, oh, she's not actually the bad guy because she saved the kid and she didn't really want to do it, she just got fucking blackmailed into it or whatever.
It's just always weird how he said that he was like the burnt face man.
Yeah.
When he turned around and was like, oh, you're gonna fight. First of all, what a strange accent that he had. he dickhead. It was very like, hey, but it was like a New Orleans sort of like accent, wasn't it? It felt like the gator from Princess and the Frog, but like really high pitched.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they were in New Orleans for a little bit.
Didn't know if he was trying to put on like a gangster mob accent, and sometimes it came through and sometimes it didn't.
Sometimes he did sound like, hey, I'm a mob guy.
Yeah.
You fucking what? And then sometimes he did.
Oh.
There goes your phone. And then sometimes it didn't, and I was like, what? Did you also think that Rebecca Ferguson's accent was a bit weird? Or was it just me?
I think she like start off American and then...
Oh, well, I thought she started off Irish.
No, I think she started off American and then she switched to British. I don't know if it was part of the whole character, her pretending to be whatever.
Yeah, there was.
But yeah, no, her accent.
There was a definite
her accent did change,
wasn't it?
Sure,
okay.
yeah.
That made me feel weird because I was like, well, I mean, I picked up on it, but obviously not enough.
And bloody what's her face?
Tandy Newton.
Yeah.
Old fucking one-arm McGee off of Line of Duty.
Her American accent was a bit questionable at times.
Yeah, not great, I must say.
She was good though. Good cast.
Yeah, it was a good cast. Like I said, I thought everyone did a bang-up job.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, feels like it could have quite easily been like a very easy paycheck for all of them.
Yeah.
But you know, they bought their A game. You know, probably first post-pandemic job. They were like, you know, I've been out of the acting game a little bit, and he dusted all off. Get into the swing of things. But no, I enjoyed it. Like I'll acknowledge that it's not a great film. But there's nothing like. I don't think anything that was particularly bad. I thought some of the two action scenes weren't particularly great.
Yeah.
The weird shootout where everyone's hiding behind the teeny tiniest little pillars in the world and no one can shoot each other at all.
She does a great first shot and shoots that guy straight away, and then after that it's like,
Oh yeah, that really slow-mo bit where she shoots the guy through the door.
Oh my god.
And he was like, whoa! Like proper flies back.
That was ridiculous.
I feel like wasn't there something else where we sort of like turned to each other and were like, what? Oh, really annoyed. I can't remember what
it was the bit before he jumped. It was when he jumped. He made the jump and he landed on that bar.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, oh.
And it was just all CGI, wasn't it? It was like, I don't believe you made that jump at all.
Well, he didn't, did he?
And he just went, bung, and I was like, oh, you're so winded.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that got you good.
It did get good, didn't it? I think I laughed a bit too long at that.
No, I did. That made me laugh as well because I was like, it's just a bit of shit, isn't it?
They built it up so much and then he like missed it. Well, he didn't miss, but he didn't land smoothly.
Also, that fight was fucking shite. I know there was that one bit where they were having like a little bit of scuffle during the hallway.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, it was initially that one camera where it was like moving across, but then it kept like cutting in with another camera, and I was like, oh, nearly. I was like, I can see the shot, but I know you've cut away to cover up them dodging these punches and kicks.
Yeah.
So fair enough, I get it, but yeah. And then there was just that point where they just looked like, funnily enough, two middle-aged men who were just fucking knackered from the fight. You know, they had that little scuffle in the hallway bit, and then they fell down the stairs into the water.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get out of the water, and they're both
yeah.
And they're like throwing each other off the fucking just throwing like little bits at each other because they were in like a art school or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're just fully just knackered. After he did that jump bit, and Hugh Jackman had the hammer.
Yeah.
And that guy got his hand bashed in about 5 times. And he was like, yeah, I don't feel a fucking thing. I'm like, being hit by the hand by a hammer like 5 times.
Yeah.
By Hugh Jackman, who's still pretty ripped. Like, you'd be like,
You'd feel it.
fucking hand.
You would feel it.
And he got hit a couple of other spots as well. But yeah.
And even like when they were under the water and he was trapped in the piano and he just like ripped his arm out.
Oh yeah, what happened? Why didn't he just do that?
And I was like, would that not have like ripped up his skin a bit more? It looked like it was really caught in there. But
Yeah, it was like when he slammed it down and it went underwater. It was like boom, and like all the cables were like stuck around his arm. So I was like, oh shit, here we go. It's gonna have some blood, some lacerations. Is it lacerations?
Yeah.
Or I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like Gerald. Is it Gerald's Game? You know, when like she pulls the
What? No.
like, degloving or whatever it was, wasn't it? Like,
Oh no, I don't want to think about what.
Yeah, actually, I just thought about it. Actually, made me feel really fucking sick.
Yeah, me too.
Oh god, that bitch. Oh, I just keep seeing it, but fucking. Why don't I do that? It's fucking grim.
Why would you bring back that memory, Sam?
Oh.
But yeah, when he'd escaped and then Hugh Jackman was just floating around in the water for a little while. And then
What was that about?
how did he not hear him come back up again? And he just crept up behind him and jabbed him with the syringe. I'm like,
Because he's Wolverine.
I don't believe that you can get up out of water silently.
No. Especially after he was in there.
He was in there for a long time.
Nearly
wasn't
dragged you.
he?
Come on.
Yeah, you'd be like
Yeah, you wouldn't-
gasping for air.
You wouldn't just come over like.
And then creep up. Can't hear me.
Also, if you just killed the guy at the bottom of the fucking lake, either make sure he's dead or leave. Just leave.
Right.
Stop looking.
Just sat there like.
Stop looking at these fucking earrings like elsewhere. Yeah, that underwater bit, I was just like, fucking lines, like an animal.
Glad it wasn't.
You are?
I said I'm glad it wasn't.
Well, yeah, same. What was I going to say? Yeah, the underwater bit. What? Like, I swear he like kicked Hugh Jackman, and then Hugh Jackman just. It's like he just decided to stop trying.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe he winded him when he kicked him. I don't know.
But like he just sort of went. Brr.
Yeah, just stop.
Just like, okay. And I was like, alright, okay.
I had a bit of a daydream about Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
God, he really fancies that, doesn't he?
He does. He really does.
And they bloody love making her, like, oh, bloody hell, mate. What the fuck was that?
What?
I heard that, like,
Yeah, wasn't that your watch?
no, I think it was the radio.
Oh. You thought it was your washers.
Oh yeah, as soon as she walked in, Lady in Red, and I was like, femme fatale. If this was a fucking black and white film, everything else would be black and white apart from that dress. That dress would be red. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the lady.
But I was like, yes, femme fatale. I've seen this at film study. I know this from A levels. It's been a while. And then, yeah, as soon as she just got naked straight from the start, I was like,
Heck yeah. No qualms. I mean, she wasn't wrong though. He was gonna see it anyway, so.
Was he? When?
Like, in that first memory, she gets out of bed naked and gets dressed. So he would, you know, when he was like, oh, is she decent?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he wasn't looking anyway.
He would have seen it, is what she means. Like, you're going to see me naked in my memories, so.
Yeah. And then the fucking dildo on the floor. I was like,
You mean the back massager?
yeah, sure, yeah. Big, like, fucking. Imagine if it was like one of those ones that's shaped like a dick.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, you mean my. And he's like, oh, you're a back massager. What? But yeah, I quite like that. I thought that set the tone quite well. It was like, dildos. There are still dildos in this post-apocalyptic world. How the fuck did it end up so... I mean, I don't mean to know self-pleasure routines.
Oh, I don't know.
Why the fuck was it on the other side of the fucking room?
Probably.
Unless it was like, have you ever seen It's Not Another Teen Movie?
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning when they walk in, she's like...
Yeah.
And then it like shoots out of her into the sky or whatever it is. Unless she did that in the middle of it.
Maybe that's just where she hides it.
Yeah.
Under the chest of drawers.
Probably get a bit dusty, a bit.
Yeah, just
The dust would like stick to it. Am I going to be able to get around this fucking bit?
Of course you are.
Also, it's bin day tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not bin day.
You've fucking
tomorrow.
been there. Dickhead.
It's not bin day tomorrow, is it?
No.
Who's bin is that?
It's not Marion.
Not Marian's.
It's not ours, is it?
No. I don't think so.
Me.
Interesting.
Oh.
Nice.
Pardon me. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, you know that whole thing where they're like, oh, people avoid the daytime. Apart from Hugh Jackman, who's always out in the daytime. He was just always in the day.
Yeah. He did say though, didn't he, that he hadn't adjusted.
Oh yeah, true. That fucking...
Yeah, I did keep thinking about that. I was like, oh, they're out in the daytime. I was like, do they ever get any sleep? And then I was like, well, you know, in other films, if someone was out at the night time, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, they should be in bed. You'd just kind of...
wave it off when you...
just accept it. You're like, cool.
I think it's just because they made a point about saying, oh, no one's out in the day.
Yeah.
And then just showed him out in... Oh, no, sorry, there was, like, what, twice?
Yeah.
Well, because he went to that weird, like... that weird funfair island, didn't he? At night time. And then he just stayed there overnight.
Yeah.
So we just, slept on a bench? Like some sort of homeless man?
I don't know. We just didn't go to sleep.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it depends what time he got there.
Yeah, because that was another thing when obviously she was saying, that dusk was her favourite time. When they were up on that like balcony bit, but it looked like it was just daytime.
Yeah, it was just daytime. Just daytime. What?
I think it's just coming from my hearing.
Oh no. Can we turn the light on?
Maybe.
Don't know how. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, pardon me.
But yeah.
Sorted?
Thank you. It's gonna take me a little while.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep
There was
talking.
something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what. Oh yeah, the fucking snivelly little kid dude. Oh yeah, I thought of, when they were like, because they kept making a point about that woman's memory.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that guy with the pasty ass.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. And I was like, this is going to come back, isn't it?
Yeah, and then
they saw.
oh, she watches the same one every week.
Yeah, and then they saw the old bloke, and he said something about her, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's obviously going to come back into it, isn't it? Because you wouldn't show us, like, we wouldn't hear it otherwise.
Yeah.
It just felt like, that whole little subsection about him going to Narlands, and visiting the old Grand Duke of York.
Yeah.
It just felt like that was really sort of like quite out of place. Like I know why that sort of thing needed to happen, because obviously they needed to make the point that she was keeping shit from him.
Yeah.
But it just felt like, oh my god, pardon me. I don't know. I feel like because I kind of wish it had just taken place in the same city. Because it was just a lot of him sat on the train for a little bit, wasn't it? Where he was talking like this.
Yeah, you didn't really need to yeah.
Like, it could have been anywhere else. I get that obviously you're trying to show off more of this world, but when you've got a 2-hour film to do it in, like, don't. And save the
necessary, really, was it?
and save the kind of shitty action scene as well. I feel like that's kind of why, because it felt like it was like trying to be like a, I don't know, it.
I like it was trying to be really like dystopian.
Yeah, I mean it was different, wasn't it? It was like a different dystopia that I guess that they don't really, you don't sort of look at from that point of view, do you? Because every time it's dystopian, it's either like a cyberpunky. Because I always feel like murder mystery stories like this, they're always like a cyberpunky one or like a 1950s one. And it's quite refreshing. But then also the that one is usually like a desert, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this time they were like, what's opposite of desert? Water.
Yeah.
I think that's also partly why, like, I kind of wish it was like a TV show, like maybe just like a 1-season TV show, because I just feel like there was more to the world itself that could have. But then, because I was like, I could quite easily see this being like an anthology sort of film series, where it's like different characters each film, but like you just see different parts of it, and I feel like that. That's what.
That all connects up at the end.
Because it has a really interesting central idea about this idea of that, like going into your memories and like rewatching them and stuff. I was like, I really like that idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then people getting addicted to, but then like you didn't really. I feel like that's the thing. Cause, yeah, I feel like that's the thing. Because
crazy lady.
Yeah. And that came so far. That came quite late in the game, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, there were good bits in it. I feel like. I just don't know what it is. It just felt like there was just something that didn't. But then
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I did enjoy it, but.
I'm also a bit just like, I'm not going to rave about it to anyone.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking, I was like, I wouldn't mind picking this up, but I feel like it'd be a guilty pleasure sort of thing. You know, one where you're like, you know, I quite like it, but I know that it's not the best film in the world.
Yeah.
Because there are bits of it that I did really like. Like,
Yeah.
I like this world that they built. I like the idea around the machine. Pardon me. I liked Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Great as always. You know, everyone else, like I said, everyone in it put in a good turn.
It's like, almost like you wanted more.
Yeah, but like I don't know what.
I think, like you said, if it was a TV show, you'd probably enjoy it more because there's more to the world.
Yeah.
Like, the base of the film was fine.
Yeah, it just needed.
Yeah, for me to be like, oh my god, I absolutely love that. I'd want to see more of it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And I feel like because I wouldn't have. I don't think it needed to be any longer than it was.
No.
Not telling that story anyway. But like,
No.
if it was a TV show, you could pad it out with more about the world than the actual story. But then you might run into the Bly Manor sort of situ, innit?
I don't know, because I think you could explore the Baron and the Baroness's situation.
Because I feel like they sort of glossed over that for a bit, didn't they?
That was the base of the betrayal, really, because of the whole like bastard child that the son wanted to have covered up, and that was the reason why he got Jenny Lynn to be snaky.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Because it just sort of glossed over all that, didn't it?
Surely you should include more of that, because that is why she's doing what she's doing.
I think that is what it is, isn't it? Because they wasted time in that fucking going to New Orleans. So it was like they wasted time on that whole thing and made it about her rather than about. But they didn't have enough time to then go, oh, by the way, we've actually got. There's actually something else going on.
Yeah.
But then that whole thing, like you said, with the Baron and the Baroness, their whole hierarchy thing didn't really sort of explain what happened other than like a throwaway comment, didn't it? It was like, oh, the rich bought the land and then that was it. And you were like,
well.
What? Oh, okay. And then you were like, but I only saw this guy once at the beginning.
Yeah.
But you needed to show him more about why he's such a bad dude.
Yeah.
Because what did they say? Oh, he was involved in like an arson in a building or something.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then she was like, oh man, I can't get him. Damn, what a shame.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
They wanted to prove that he'd actually been a pretty bad guy, didn't they?
But
because they wanted to like look at his memories, but then
they couldn't. Yeah. But then there was this whole civil unrest brewing as well.
Yeah.
That didn't,
because of the Baron and stuff that he'd done.
Yeah. But we didn't see that. We didn't see what he did, so it was a bit like, wait, what? And then
so there was like this whole secondary like class divide narrative that was going on, but they didn't explore any of it. They just kind of threw it in and was like, oh yeah, like the people were starting to hate him because he was lying or whatever he was doing, just being a bad guy.
But then, like, you know, at the end when they outed it all and whatever, and they were like, oh, the guy. Oh no, I guess they turned against the son, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because I was like, but the Baron guy didn't do anything. He just wanted to make sure the wife was his son was all right, didn't he? It was so his bastard son who wanted to make sure he was all right, but it was his actual son who was like, fuck off, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm again.
Yeah.
But then I've just realised that they turned against him and his mum, didn't they? Because of like what they represent, sort of thing. But and then he was just having his little walk through in slow motion of just riots, and it was like, why are you rioting now? Why aren't you rioting earlier? Sort of thing, you know?
No, I guess because he said, didn't he, once it was outed about what they'd done, and
the cover up and
the people started rioting.
Yeah, because they were like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. again, like, more explanation, please.
Especially because it seemed like there was more than just one rich... You know when they had that bit where they showed the rich people's bit?
Yeah.
It looked like a whole, like a whole fucking neighbourhood was in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, are there more rich people? Like, I was like, if he was the mayor, or... Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all that sort of shit. I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think that is... Yeah. Because there was a lot... Because it's a very busy world that you've written. We need to see what's going on in it. We need to figure out... We need to know what the stakes are in the world. Like, because it's all well and good doing the personal stakes and the character development, because that's all this film was just character development for 2 hours.
It was.
And then, like, a sprinkling of story in there for a little bit, but also story that was wrapped up within 45 minutes.
Yeah.
After you spent an hour and 15 of it telling us about Jenny Lind and what she'd been up to.
Yeah.
And how Hugh Jackman was just obsessed with her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was all right. It was fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's got good bits, got some bad bits. Well, even they're not like the bad bits aren't bad. They're just like fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Like if it was me, I'd probably get it on DVD in the bargain.
Yeah.
But it would be one of those films where I get it. So say if it was 3 for 20 or 3 for 15 or something, I'd probably pick out 1 or 2 films that I really want, and then I'd go, oh yeah, we saw that and I quite enjoyed it. Might as well get it because it's in the deal. Or when it goes on to streaming, I'd probably watch it again.
Yeah.
Go, actually, yeah, you know what? This wasn't bad.
Yeah. I'd watch it on streaming.
Yeah. Like this is a Sunday. This is probably a Sunday evening, maybe even a Saturday evening film, I'd say.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, a couple of people round, and you just sort of, you want to watch a film, but like, you know, you don't want anything too dour. You know, when you get that with the right sort of vibe, this could be a Saturday night sort of film. I mean, you got, you know, takeaway, a couple of drinks. But yeah. I think because there weren't any glaring plot holes, it wasn't like a really complicated film where you come out of it and you're like, wait, what? It was like when you came out of it, when it finished, I was like, okay, that everything was wrapped up neatly.
Yeah.
And you know, from a story point of view, everything was finished. Everyone has done what they've done. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? No.
It was alright.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because you set the tone for me. You know, before we went in, you were like, "Oh, I've heard this is bad," and I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And I think because I was like, "Oh, great," and then I was just expecting it.
Yeah.
I was expecting bad.
Maybe that's a good thing then.
Yeah.
Because you gone in expecting it to be bad, you were actually pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I
it
think
wasn't.
so.
It wasn't that bad. I wouldn't say that was bad. So.
No, neither would I. That's why I'm like, interesting.
It's interesting that
People have said that. Because I think the last film we said that about was Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes was quite bad. So I was expecting that sort of level of like bullshittery, but it wasn't. So it was alright. It was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was alright.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
No. Let's call it a day.
Let's go.
And there it was, our driving home review. Very interesting. Was it controversial? Possibly. This is pre-recorded, so deal with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Insta, Twitter, or give us a like on Facebook, where we're Driving Home Reviews. It'd be great if you could subscribe and leave a nice juicy 5-star review, and maybe I'll buy you a pint. Is this bribery? Probably. But tune in next time for another Driving Home review.